You're going to first start by choosing out a flower. They're easy to medium to hard ones. The hardest ones are the ones with the most petals. Roses would probably be the most difficult, and then the ones with just a few petals on would be the most simple ones. So you can choose which flower you feel most comfortable with, and then if it's not going well when you start to sketch it out, you could always trade with somebody at your table. Just don't spend your whole class time doing this. So when you get your flower, you're going to get a pencil, and then you're going to use your viewfinder and set this up right on top of your flower. So you're going to decide how you want to set up the composition of your drawing, meaning like where everything's going to be placed. So you could put the flower from the center, in the very center of the paper, or maybe you're just seeing the outer edge of the flower inside of that little viewfinder. But whatever is in that window is going to be what you draw on your paper. So to start this out, you're going to be making some thumbnail sketches. So thumbnail sketch is just a small sketch. You're just drawing that rectangle like you see in the viewfinder, and then set it up how you would like to sketch it. With the rose being the most challenging one, it's mostly because those petals kind of go back into space. So I know this is really light, so it might be a little hard to see, but draw light until you get it right. So I just naturally draw lightly. So you're just breaking these shapes up, or these petals up, into shapes and simple lines. So looking at where each of these kind of fall, where it comes to like the sides of the paper. So whatever the sides of the viewfinder are showing, that's like the edges of the paper. So if a petal reaches all the way down to the bottom of that window, it should reach to the bottom of your paper when you're drawing it. So when you're ready to go to the black paper, make sure you have the paper facing the correct direction, the same way that you did in your sketch with your viewfinder. So remember, you can set up however you like in the viewfinder, and I'm just going to show you a couple different flower sketches so you get the idea. So a flower like this that has just a few petals, you might only see parts of those petals, so you might only have about like 2 or 3 petals. Some of those little pistils and stamens, those things come downward, so they're a little bit harder to draw because they come out at you, so you have to kind of draw them going upwards or downwards. Look at how it fills that space in that window. Now you would pick your best thumbnail sketch and you would draw this bigger on your black paper, but I just wanted to show you another different flower. So this is the sunflower. So I've got this set up so that you see the center of the flower kind of in the corner. And we're just going straight to oil pastel on these black papers. We're not using pencil. So I'm going to draw nice and big, because remember, whatever touches the top of the viewfinder touches the top of my black paper. And same for the bottom and the sides. So I'm breaking this up into simple shapes. So the center of the flower, there's like a little bit of a lighter center that's a little more yellow. It's a little hard to see on the screen. And then I'm breaking this up into the specific shapes that I see for the petals. Now, there's not a lot of background space on this one. A couple of the petals kind of curve up and curve around that circle. Notice you don't see any of the tips of the petals. Anything that's outside of the viewfinder, you're not drawing. You're only drawing what you see inside of the window. So make sure that you draw lightly, not drawing any of the tips of the petals unless they are showing up inside of your viewfinder. A lot of times friends just draw what they think a flower should look like instead of drawing what's actually inside of the viewfinder. Draw what you see, not what you think you see. Break it up into basic lines and shapes. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Remember, this is an abstraction, so it should look a little strange. It might not look exactly like a flower. So wait to put your name on the back until you know you're happy with the drawing on the front. That way, if you need a blank side, you can just go over to the other side. Using the white oil pastel, know that if you make a mistake, you can kind of just rub it away or color over it later. So don't stress out about that. So choosing which flower you want and then drawing the thumbnail sketches and then drawing with oil pastel on the black paper.